Okay, so have you ever heard of the Dogman? Have you ever heard of Dogman? Have you ever heard of Dogman? Have you ever heard of Dogman? I've been around this mall, asked like 8 people about Dogman. Have either of you heard of Dogman?
All right, welcome. Happy Sunday, everybody. We're here. We are Global Strangeness, 3 strangers from different parts of the world coming together with our love for all the bizarre and creepy stuff. Myself, Deborah, Scott, and Jeremy decided that this week we would be talking about Dogman. So pretty interesting. Lots of people know about Dogman, I think, pretty popular. But just in case somebody's not sure, what Dogman is, most generally, is described as a 7-foot-tall, blue-eyed or amber-eyed, bipedal, canine-like animal with the torso of a man. And apparently he's got a howl that sounds like a human screaming. So haven't heard one myself, but that would be a little bit terrifying in the woods, I guess. And I found it interesting. They said it's reported as being much more aggressive than other creatures, although we've done some podcasts on some other creatures that are pretty freaking aggressive too. So I don't know if he's the most, but anyways. And people are often sighting them around fresh killed prey like deer and moose and things like that, often out in the woods. And but they will actually come out of the woods and attack cars and stuff. So and I found it interesting. There was a thing online where you can report your encounter or sighting, and it says confidential, email or call, and it's with www.cryptidhunters.org. So I thought that's funny. I would love to hear some of the calls and see what kind of stories they've come up with. Anyways, so I'm going to talk about the Michigan reports because that's kind of the earliest ones. The Michigan Dogman, there's reports from Michigan that have been traced back to 1794, which is quite a bit earlier. And they found kind of a mention of him in the journal of a French fur trader. And he described it as loup garou, which I'm probably saying murdering the French there, but it's French for werewolf. And I understand there's a difference between werewolf and Dogman. Nonetheless, though, they included this as being one of the first sort of mentions of him. And the Algonquin legends, they include lots of references too. But before that, after that, it's really around the 1800s when kind of the stories all started coming out, from what I could find. Maybe you guys found earlier stuff, but it's kind of mostly started with the Michigan Dogman. And so in 1887, 2 lumberjacks from Wexford County, they saw a creature that they described as having a man's body and a dog's head. And according to the Michigan Dogman legend, I don't know if this is true where all the sightings are, but apparently Dogman appears to humans in a 10-year cycle. I thought this was really interesting. So he comes in a 10-year cycle, and it always falls on years ending in the number 7. Did you guys come across that? Yeah,
I got that.
So cyclical.
I didn't.
So that's really interesting.
Everything I've heard about Dogman, I never heard they had cycles like that.
Yeah. I thought that was really strange.
From what I've heard, they are pretty active year-round every year. Like, if you check out Phantom and Monsters Radio or Monsters Among Us, there are reports of Dogmen being active constantly, especially in Pennsylvania, apparently.
Well, I think this was solely for the Michigan Dogman.
For the Michigan, I was wondering that if it's this one cycles,
maybe.
And maybe they all cycle 10 years, but they pop up in different places, right? Like the cycles are set differently, but this is the first cyclical monster anyways, the first creature that we've come across it is like that.
Yeah.
And the earlier reports are always, they were basically woodsmen, like men working in the woods, lumberjacks and whatever, and a lot of the earlier reports came out of the logging camps. So those guys are lonely, delirious, and imbibing in the evenings probably. But anyways, that's where most of the original stories were coming from. And in most recent sightings, it's still people are often isolated, or they're on an isolated road, or they're in the woods having a hike, and it's not usually big bunches of people that see them, from what I can see anyways. That's bad. But Dogman does come out of the woods, and he will like jump in front of cars, and he'll scratch at your cars or houses, or this like terrify me, tents. Can you imagine being in a tent?
Yeah.
I mean, like, he'd probably scratch it open. I'd die. I would just die of fright. That'd be terrible.
Tent would be the worst.
And then I guess recently in Michigan, somebody called in. They didn't have a name though. I wish there was a name to this one, but somebody called in, and OnStar. They called OnStar,
Oh,
and they said that Dogman ran out and like ran out in front of their car and caused them to roll their car. I'm like, how do you do that on an insurance claim? Like,
I wonder if
you
you
know.
could get the call. I wonder if it's been posted anywhere.
I don't know. Yeah,
How old is that?
it just said
Uh,
recently. So, but I mean, OnStar, it can't be that long ago, right? Or
I mean-
OnStar is fairly new.
I didn't think OnStar's a thing anymore. Even
Yeah,
Would
no,
you-
it's been at least 10, 15 years, huh?
Oh, has
Yeah,
it?
I
See,
mean-
I don't even know.
I don't,
Yeah.
I've never had it, so.
I mean, I never
never
drove
had it
when it was
either.
a thing. Even I don't think, but I mean, it's just since GPS and cell phones, they got rid of it because everybody has a cell phone now.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah. I just thought that was funny. Can you imagine getting the call, like OnStar people getting that call?
Yeah, no, I wonder if there is a recording of that. That'd be
That'd be
funny.
fun. We should try and dig it up.
Here,
Yeah.
I'll look
so-
for it. You keep going.
Okay. And then some people say that Dogman was proven though, in what's known as the Gable film. So I sent you that clip. And so that was recorded by a kid. His name's Mike Agusa. And he recorded this all during a vacation he was on in northern Michigan. And yeah, I mean, it's did you watch it? Did you have a chance to watch it?
No, I was going to play it right now. How about I play that and then I'll look for the
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's kind of cool. He said after that it was a hoax, but there's a lot of people that are like, no, this is still real. Like they think this is actual. This is the proof.
So do you guys see it? And let me know if you hear it, because this is the first time I'm trying. Let me get the volume up. Was there sound to
I don't
this?
think there's sound. No, it's
Okay.
just the film part.
So this is 3 minutes. Where about in the video does he see him?
Well, I had trouble because you just see glimpses of him, and I think I missed him the first time because I was like, what are we watching? But
Well, let me know when you see him. I'll try to
Looks like
pause.
some home movies from the 1950s.
right? And he's like skidooing on the grass here half the time, but anyways.
No, it seems like they're actually like winding,
Yeah.
like way
Right.
back when. Look at that thing, dude. That
Look
is
at this,
an
I
old
know, right?
school.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a different one, right?
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of like different things when he saw him, but I couldn't see him in the beginning of these clips, and then I think
Should-
about halfway through you'd see him.
Halfway through. Okay, let's try this. Does anybody see him yet?
Can't say I do, but
See, there he is, right there.
Is
That's
that
the
him
first
right
time I
there?
sort of, yeah, I'm assuming that's, yeah, and then in the background.
That's a regular dog. Is this
Well-
supposed to be?
But that in the background, I think is supposed to be him.
they all look like regular dogs until they stand up on their hind legs.
Well,
I thought-
he's gonna take on. I don't think that's one.
Yeah, no, that's just a happy German Shepherd, huh?
Proof, there he is. But then
The-
it does show another, I think, kind of up closer here.
Yeah. Right there.
Where is it, in the middle? Ah, I missed
Yeah.
it.
I think so. I'm not.
Yeah,
not
I was
Is this
having
him
trouble
out
with
here?
this. He's fixing his car.
Is this what we're
It-
looking at? The oh, no.
I know,
Man,
and there's people that is like, this is the proof. Like this is, what they.
okay, there's
Oh.
that's oh geez, man. Come on, you couldn't keep it on him a little longer.
Yeah.
That looked like a dog that may have like jumped or something, because it was back on its 4 legs. There we go.
Yeah. If he
Well,
could study, I mean,
I
I guess he'd
know.
be scared, but
And those cameras were big, so
Yeah.
like, what is he doing? Running towards
he's
it?
probably
Like,
running. Oh, that's pretty good.
oh, there's one. Yeah, that looks like a bear.
Oh,
That does not look like a bear.
That does
The
not
legs
look
are-
like a bear.
The legs
That
are way
actually
too
looks
close to the
very good.
ground. The legs are way too close to the ground to be a bear.
What do you think that was? Hold up. We're going back to
That-
that one.
That looks like a dogman.
Did I not
basically.
go back far enough? Here we go.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. What do you guys think? You don't think it looks like a bear in like tall
No.
grass?
No,
No.
it doesn't
Or
move like a bear
pig,
at all.
a boar, maybe a boar.
Maybe a pig, like, yeah, maybe a pig, not a bear at all, because the legs are wrong.
That does
My
not
eyes
look like
are
a
really
boar
bad.
either. I
It
don't
looks
think.
like a gorilla when they're down.
Or
It
it looks like it looks like a dog creeping through like tall brush. Like my dog
Yeah.
does the same thing. Like I mean, that's what it looks like, but I don't know. I mean, to me that could be proof.
Okay, so we got OnStar Dogman. Is
Oh,
this says the audio, right? Video. Let's see what this is real quick. Unedited audio of an emergency call on
2006, yeah, probably it.
Okay.
OnStar Emergency. This is Kyle speaking. How can I help you? Hello?
Something just ran in front of us on the road. We're in the ditch. We rolled over.
How many people are in the car, and is anyone injured?
There's two of us. I don't think we have any injuries.
Is the car on its top or wheels or what?
No, it's kind of sitting on its side.
Hold one moment, please, while I contact emergency services.
Okay.
What do you guys think? Do you think this is real?
I mean, it's. I mean, I don't know. It's
So far.
It's
So
it's
far it
hard
seems
to
real.
judge, right? Like I could call you and
Okay,
we
the
could
state
do
police
this.
should be on their way in a few minutes. Is everyone still okay?
Yeah, I think we're okay.
What ran in front of you? A deer?
I don't know what the hell it was, but it was big. It looked like a great big dog. Standing up.
Was it a bear, maybe?
Maybe oh my God.
Oh, damn.
Sir? Hello?
Okay.
Are you still there? Sir?
I see what that first comment meant now.
Yeah, I didn't know that happened. Well,
Should we fast forward through a little and see if it goes back? Maybe he calls back.
And somewhere in the northwest
Okay, now we're
darkness,
getting into a song. That was a
Oh.
good clip. though.
that's actually is that the song you have, Scott?
Yeah, that's the song from
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm
Steve.
like, yeah, I've heard on Monsters Among Us multiple times. It's a good song.
Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna have to stop screen sharing and change it up, but we
well, that was
video.
that was pretty cool. And I didn't know that it attacked while he was on the phone. That's kind of
Yeah, no,
fun fact.
that was a good clip.
So this Michigan Dogman inspired a film in 2011. Rich Brower made a film called Dogman, and it was starring Larry Joe Campbell, and the movie premiered at the State Theater in Traverse City, which is where that song was. The DJ is from Traverse City, and the movie actually included a segment of that video clip that we saw. They actually put that in the movie, and they credited that kid who took the video. So it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of famous. And then also, off of this was the song, and I'll let you kind of take over from there. The radio station in 1987 recorded, because that was kind of cool, and it spurred a lot of stories coming in. So you can take it from there.
Are we jumping into it?
Yeah, if you want to, sure. You guys
Okay,
will
let me
segue right in.
pull up. I'll do the DJ Steve and the Dogman first, and then I'll do that clip. I think I finally got somebody who believed in or heard about Dogman, and he believes. So I think Jeremy's gonna like that. Okay, so I think you went over most of that. The Michigan Dogman is said to come every 7 years. So he's described as a 7 foot tall, blue-eyed canine that walks on his hind legs, but he has the torso of a man. And so it's basically in the northwestern part. The 7 year split is in the northwestern part of Michigan. That's where this story takes place. And then the stories surrounding Dogman were mainly unauthenticated stories. They didn't have any names or places or dates to make them like what I would call believable. But then, like you talked about, there were two main stories. The one was of the lumberjacks, and that was in 1887 in Wexford County. And they basically just reported that they saw the creature. I mean, they didn't have any contact, or there wasn't anything crazy that went on. But then in 1937, so we went from 1887 to 1937, Robert Fortney was attacked by 5 wild dogs, and he reported that one of them walked on its hind legs like a human. So there was
there are stories that dogmen run in packs sometimes, and that there's an alpha.
Yeah. What was that?
And
It was like Reese from Malcolm in the Middle, right?
Yeah, kind of. But I mean, I mean, and plus, it has been known that dogmen have been seen with just wild dogs because they don't know, they find strays and they become a pack. It's whatever. But
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Well, there was a couple more minor sightings in 57 and 67, and then it kind of went dark for 30 years from what I found. But then on April 1st, 1987, DJ Steve Cook from radio station WTCM in Traverse City, Michigan, played the song, and it was called The Legend. So I got this one loaded up. Let's listen to the song. We're jumping halfway through. We'll just listen to a little bit of it, but
I love when DJs do stuff like this. It's so fun.
Well, that's the thing that sucks, right? Is DJs used to have, now it's all preloaded songs. It's all scripted. Like, it used to be cool to have the DJ do stuff, right? Like, they picked their own songs. They could do fun skits, but okay, here's his song.
In 67, a van load of hippies told a park ranger named Quinlan they'd been awakened in the night by a scratch at the window. There was a dogman looking in and grinning.
So very 80s.
In 77, there were screams in the night near the village of Bel Air.
But so he released that song, and it was basically him he did a short little keyboard melody, and you heard the drum beat machine, and he was doing reports or sighting reports, just talking about it through the whole thing, 3 minutes and 33 seconds. And obviously it was an April Fool's Day joke, like a sort of Michigan modern day War of the Worlds type scenario that took off further than he thought it would. And the song took off super quick, man. They were it was the most requested song in the area for a while, and he was selling tapes of just that song for $4 a pop in 1987. So $4 for a 3-minute tape, 1987. But along with the song requests, he had over 100 listeners call in to tell him their personal Dogman sightings. Now, Steve said that he doesn't actually believe in the Dogman, but he did have an interview with Skeptoid.com where he stated, "I made it up completely from my own imagination as an April Fool's Day prank for the radio and stumbled my way into a legend that goes back all the way to Native American times." Then he went on to say, "I'm tremendously skeptical because I've sort of seen the way folklore becomes built from the creation of this song to what it has turned into. But I do believe people who think they saw something really did see something. I also think Dogman provides them with an avenue to explain what they couldn't explain for themselves." So, he didn't believe into it, but his $4 tapes did go to a good cause. He was donated all of that money to an animal shelter.
Which is awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, he made some money and gave it to the animal shelter.
It's too bad he didn't write a book on all the calls, people's experiences or whatever. He should have taken that all down and wrote a book on it.
Yeah, I have no idea what he did with it. Jeremy would probably know better than that, better than I would. Have you ever heard of DJ Steve?
I only know him because of that song, because I've heard it on podcasts before, but I never actually looked into him. Like, it's just a fun song that they play every once in a while on Monsters Among Us. And there's another one too. There's another more like country folksy song about some lumberjacks playing with a dog. Dog ran the log, came out the other end. He was standing up on 2 legs, like.
Well, didn't this guy, Cook, Steve Cook, didn't he record that? And then he re-recorded it with, who was it?
He had like a
Bob Morley or something. Like he re-recorded it again.
Yep, he had another instrument played with it.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what that was, but yeah, it was like Frank Marley or something weird.
It was okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay, well, I'll jump into that's all I got on Steve. So let me do this share screen. So this guy is a total believer, Jeremy. You'll like this.
Oh, there's a lot of total believers out there, but
I went through a lot of people before I found one who had even heard of him. I did get another maybe though. So we got.
There's probably believers that just don't want to say it.
Yeah, no, it's pretty awkward. I mean, a lot of these people are pressured, but here's this guy. Let me know if you can hear the sound. I asked a whole bunch of people if they've heard of Dogman. Have you ever heard of Dogman?
Yeah, I've heard of Dogman.
You were the first person to say that. What have you heard?
That it's comparable to a werewolf. That usually it's like a pretty like dark entity. Actually listened to a lot of podcasts about it, so I've heard a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could go on for a while, but
Okay.
Dark, spooky, and a lot of sightings of them in Idaho, I've heard.
Okay, are there any sightings here local in Utah?
I am actually native of Idaho, so I don't know about Utah as much, but I know Twin Falls, Magic Valley area, there's a lot.
Do you believe in Dogman?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Dogman or had any other sighting?
No, I have not. Not personally, no.
So why do you believe in Dogman?
Just, I've always been open to stuff like that, and listening to accounts and studying the cryptid myself, I think it's like very possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last question, we're coming next to Halloween. What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh man, it's the old school Michael Myers ones. It's just classic Halloweens. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Cool.
Have a good day. Okay.
Good.
Well, I got more. I'll do those on the TikTok. I did have a total fail, which was pretty embarrassing, but it'll be on TikTok if people want to watch it.
oh, I will be watching that one.
Do you want to watch it now?
Go for it.
It's short.
If it's short enough, sure.
Let me move this up. There we go. Where's total fail? Dogman, total fail. Oh, there we go. Complete fail, Dogman. Okay, so are you excited for Halloween?
I am, yeah.
Do you believe in the supernatural?
No, I don't.
Not at all?
No.
Have you ever heard of Dogman?
No.
Have you heard any?
Dogman?
Any supernatural?
Like the show Supernatural on TV?
Just anything supernatural. Is there like a monster, ghost, anything that you believe in?
No, I don't believe in anything.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, you run into a lot of that.
Yeah, he's pretty firm. Nope.
Yeah, that was the first one.
That's why you call it paranormal, not supernatural. But just saying, because the TV show gets
Yeah.
brought up the TV show gets brought up a lot if you say supernatural.
That was the first one, and I was like getting over the nerves. So
No, those are good. Those are good.
yeah, we got more coming up. So my next story will be about the cynocephaly. Have you heard about this, Jeremy?
No, when you first sent that, I was gonna be like, "What the hell is that?"
So
I mean, it's the word sounds familiar, but I can't think of what the hell it's placed to it. Like, I can't place it.
Deborah said she had never heard of it either. It's it's basically like the ancient accounts of Dogman. So I mean, this goes back well before Christianity. So stories of the dog-headed men date back, like in recorded history, as far back as the 5th century BC. So that came from physician Cetius. He didn't have a last name back then. But even the Egyptian god Anubis, the god of the dead, he's a dog-headed man, basically, right? So if you look at old pictorial maps, let me get this sharing again. Okay, so old pictorial maps have show images. There we go. A lot of these on there. Have you guys ever heard of blemmies or the like one-footed creatures?
Yeah.
So this is supposed to be Intica. This is the Pyrus Reese map. So this map's, I should have written down the age of it, but that's one of the pictures on it. It gets a little better than that. But you can kind of see the dog-headed people. So these were legitimate maps where they thought there were tribes of dog-headed people that lived here. So there they are. You got all the shipping. I didn't get any with any of the blemmies or any of the other ones that are on there. But
And what country is that supposed to be?
it was the map of the Intica. So before India, whatever territory that was before India was a thing.
Oh, India's got a lot of weird cryptids, so I could 100% believe. I mean, and Dogman is supposed to be worldwide, so I 100% believe that.
Yeah, no, I'll get into it, but like Libya is supposed to have a whole tribe of these people. So there's been Greek historical figures like Herodotus, Magathenius, and Claudius Alanius, who wrote about tribes of dog-headed people, and they said that they lived basically in the east of Libya. But there are two problems with this whole thing that we modern day have translated. All three of those people had never actually seen the dog-headed creatures themselves. They just heard stories from merchants and travelers and secondhand, basically. And then Greeks used the same name for Egyptian baboons. So there could have been some mistranslation between that. But the most respected cynocephaly I could find was Saint Christopher of Canaan. You know about him?
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, Saint Christopher's was supposed to be the beginning of werewolf stories, basically, in folklore.
So most people around the world, they believe that he's just a normal person. They depict him as a normal person. But the Eastern Orthodox Church, they portray him as a giant dog-headed figure. So one of the other things that he was best known for is Saint Christopher helped a child cross a river. And when they crossed the river, the child revealed himself as Christ 300 years after his death, but we won't get into that. And then, so the reason they give Chris the doggish features is basically a clerical error. So it's they're translating this stuff between language barriers, but this will go, it's sort of like the Trinity, right? The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, or how we get the, if you read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, you'll get 4 different Easter stories. The Eastern Orthodox people sort of put this together where you have Canaanite, the son of Cain, so sons of Cain, and then Canaanite, giants of Canaan, and then Canaanite, dogmen. So they kind of melded all of those together and made a giant dog-headed creature that was from the bloodline of Cain. Stop sharing. I think that's the last one. But yeah, no, I mean that Marco Polo. So that's one story, but this goes back way farther than that, and closer to that. We have Giovanni de Pian del Carpine, which is a hell of a name. He wrote about an army of troops that ran into a tribe of dog-headed people near modern-day Lake Baikal in Russia. And then Marco Polo, I mean, everybody knows who Marco Polo is. He tells stories of mastiff-faced barbarian tribes that grew spices from the island of Angamanian. I'm going to be bad with all of these.
I mean, Marco Polo is also the same guy who thought that a freaking rhinoceros was a unicorn. So yeah, I don't know how well we trust his judgment.
Well, have you guys seen a lot of that, like marginalia or the bestiaries from way back in the day?
Oh, the drawings are freaking so.
But
they're trippy.
They're getting them secondhand, right? It's the best they could do. They didn't have the internet. Christopher Columbus, we should all know who that is, stated that the Taino tribe of the Caribbean were descendants of the Sinophilians. Yeah, I mean, he found that tribe when he was on his way to discover the Americas. And then that map, the Pi Reis, that was made in the 1500s. I guess I did have the date, but I mean, they drew all sorts of stuff like that. Sir John Mandeville wrote that they inhabited Nicobar Islands of the Indian Ocean, and it just sort of goes on and on and on and on. So, you know, I could disprove the one, but I don't know. You know, maybe it's a government cover-up. Maybe there
Well, it sounds like there's definitely tribes of human, you know, dog-looking humans. But do you think, is that the cryptid creature that's attacking rolling cars and stuff now, or is that a race of people that looked a little different or something? Like, are they related?
Well, a lot of them, the mastiff face, so they all say that the face comes out, but then that's the problem too, is that word was synonymous with baboons, and baboons, you know, like back in the day, would you have called a tribe of baboons a tribe of people? Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
The Native Americans called tribes of Bigfoot big hairy men. So I mean, I guess it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, no, I at least think that maybe they did exist. You know, if they don't exist now, maybe at one point in time they actually did. So
well, look at Anubis.
Yeah,
look at Anubis, the Egyptian god. It is literally a dogman.
Yeah.
And when I get to my part, I got a story for that one too, actually. But
well, he wasn't the only god either. There were a couple other gods in Egyptian.
there was oh no, Egyptians had a crap load of gods, but one for every animal basically. But I mean, but the Aztecs also had a dog-faced human-like god. So
well, that gets into reptilians. Like, there's a lot of tribes that were separated by a lot of water that all depicted the same creature. So is it just like some thing we hallucinate naturally, or were there actual people like this? I can't put it down.
Well, wait till you hear mine, and you might be a little more convinced about things. But make sure you're.
I'm
any
done.
other stories?
It's all you.
I didn't want to interrupt you 100%, but
let me know what you want pulled up when.
I will. But well, for this first part, there's nothing I need pulled up. But so, if you go to my show, Paranormal New Normal, I have an interview with a man named Christopher Susi in one of my first 5-6 episodes, and he was in the Army, and him and his team, whatever you call him. What's that? What's the right word, Scott?
Troop?
Yeah, him and his troop. I don't know why I always blank on that. Him and his troop were were in Egypt on duty, and one of his best friends, one of the close people to him and his troop, like saw a statue of Anubis and freaked the hell out and was like, "What is that? What is that?" And they're like, "That's an ancient Egyptian god statue." And he's like, "I've seen that twice in my backyard when I was a kid in New Orleans."
Huh.
And apparently he saw it one time when he looked out his bedroom window. He saw it in his backyard sniffing around, looking for something, probably food. And then another time he saw it hanging onto a log, swimming down a river.
Wow.
Which I mean, New Orleans is Rougarou country, and Rougarou.
That's what I was thinking of. That's what I was. I heard the podcast.
The Rougarou. Oh, you did hear? Okay, yeah. Rougarou, though, are basically the Cajun African version of dogmen.
Okay,
And,
yeah,
or,
no.
or werewolves. And I mean, so, and they have been seen down there a lot. Small Town Monsters just released a new documentary like in the last year called Rougarou, the American Werewolf. So
We didn't do the Rougarou, right? This is a podcast I
Dogmen
listen to.
Dogmen and Rougarou are very similar, so we wouldn't have done both.
Okay.
I mean, Rougarou is it's basically the Dogman of the New Orleans, Louisiana area.
Okay.
Same as the two I'm about to start talking about have their own names as well. And we'll start with the Beast of Bray Road.
Bring that up for you.
Yeah, bring up the first picture, not the title not the cover from a movie.
You're gonna have to help me with that.
It's the one that has a square around and zoomed in, I think. Yeah.
This one?
Nope, next one. No, down. You passed
Down?
it. Left, there.
Okay. There we go. There we go.
And that is supposed footage. And there actually was there's a better picture, but I couldn't find I can only find a WEBP of it. I couldn't find like a JPEG or a PNG of it. So, but there's a better picture out there of the Beast of Bray Road than this. And there's actually a couple good pictures of it that I couldn't find on Google at all for some reason. But I've
He's
seen
a
him
little
before.
cutie.
He
I'd
Oh, yeah.
adopt him.
does, yeah.
But yeah, the Beast of Bray Road, like Deborah said, is usually reported between 6 to 7 feet, humanoid body, covered in fur, and with the head resembling that of a wolf or a bear. And it's been reported to been seen moving as a quadruped or a biped, so 4 legs and 2 legs. And some reports describe it more closely resembling a traditional werewolf or a Bigfoot. It was first sighted in 1936. But then it kind of slowed down because people were scared to report it because that person got made fun of unmercifully. And in the 1980s, several alleged witnesses had made contact with their vehicles, leaving long scratch marks on doors or the trunks of vehicles. One witness said she hit something while crossing Bray Road. Upon exiting her vehicle to determine what she had hit, supposedly a large wolf-like creature with red eyes chased her back into her car, leaving claw marks in the rear passenger door. Sightings have also been reported during the daytime, with several witnesses stating they observed an unusually large wolf-like creature running on all fours through cornfields. One stated the creature was in pursuit of a deer. Animal mutilations have also been reported in the area around Bray Road, with animal remains, including deer and livestock, partially eaten with specific organs removed from the animal carcasses, which I couldn't find it here, but I'm pretty sure it's the liver that's usually removed. I don't know why. But another witness reported driving down Bray Road late one night and observed an unusually large wolf-like creature eating an animal which had been hit by a car on the side of the road. The creature reportedly ran to the woods as the eyewitness approached it in their vehicle. Sightings continue, most recently in February 2018 and July 2020, when alleged witnesses observed a large hair-covered upright creature in Spring Prairie and Lyons, both in Walworth County. A number of misidentified animal-based theories have been proposed, including gray wolves, or a large dog such as a Great Pyrenees or a Newfoundland. But wolves are not common in the southern part of the state, and they're occasionally found in Walworth County and nearby areas, though. And it's also possible, of course, that hoaxes and mass hysteria have caused some falsehoods and sightings of normal creatures to all be artificially lumped under the same label. Others have theorized it may be a bear suffering from mange, and like wolves, American black bears have been sighted in Walworth County. So but this case is famous because Linda Godfrey, which I'm sure you both know her name.
I don't.
Famous cryptozoologist who has written many, many books. I've been trying to get her on my podcast forever, but she's just too big for me yet, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, I never heard her do an interview in any podcast. So I mean, I don't know if you can get her even, but she's older now too, of course, because she was back in the 80s and 70s and 60s writing books about these creatures.
Probably doesn't
And
know how to
she-
use the internet then, huh?
Only time travelers, Scott. Only time travelers. But she went out there and she spent a lot of time out in Bray Road, and she actually wrote a lot of books about it. So I think she actually had a sighting too, if I'm not mistaken, but I haven't looked into her stuff in a long time now, so I'm not sure about that part. But the Bray Road Beast has been in popular culture, however. There was a 2005 film called The Beast of Bray Road that was a horror film distributed by the Asylum Company. And there was also a documentary called The Bray Road Beast that was done by Small Town Monsters in 2018. And I recommend everybody watch that. They're dressed in this because that's an amazing documentary. I watched it and that documentary will scare you. Like it'll give you nightmares.
Did you see
Like,
the
that's how-
movie?
No, it's a very low budget movie from what I've heard.
Yeah, Asylum's normally not the best.
Yeah, I know. And of course, it's also been featured in Lost Tapes, Legend Hunter, Haunted Highway, America's Urban Legends, Hexen Arcane, Slammerang, In Search of Monsters, and Expedition X, because it is a very popular cryptid.
And Global Strangeness now.
Yes.
And now Global Strangeness, and I talk about it on my show all the time. And actually, in between my two stories, why don't you bring up that map, Scott?
Okay, let me get the map going. You keep talking. There it is.
The map Scott is bringing up, I mention it on my show all the time, and I've brought up on this show, I think, in the past as well. And I will actually have a guest in the second week of October named D.A. Roberts, who is part of this group, the North American Dogman Project. And they basically, there's 5 different regions in the United States, and they all classify encounters from the United States and Canada. And this map that Scott is now showing is all the Dogman sightings that they have in the United States and Canada as of today.
Do you want me to
It's
pick one?
Hey, where do you live in Canada, Deborah?
Alberta. I think there
I
was
have
one in
no
there.
idea where that is.
Right there.
There.
There's 2 in Alberta.
Oh shit, I can't see anything.
If you go to
there
the
we
one
go. You're-
Edmonton, and
Damn, you
up
are
north.
far away. Look at that. You're basically Alaska. Okay.
Deadwood. and
Deadwood.
I don't know what the-
Is that close to
Yeah.
you?
Not really. I mean, I'm about an hour and a half the other side of Edmonton from there, but
Ooh,
Can I
right
click
on
it?
Crossroads too.
Oh,
Again.
it says some stuff here.
cross-country
and-
skiing.
In this report, a husband and wife were out cross-country skiing. They had just crossed a remote country road and were about to ski across a field. On the other side of this field, they spotted an extremely large wolf standing just inside the tree line. The wife said she felt uncomfortable as the creature was staring right at them and following their movement. Her husband was carrying a .22 rifle on his back on a sling. He brought the rifle down, chambered a cartridge, and fired into the ground in front of the creature. She said that the creature looked at the ground, then back at them, and began to growl. She said that the growl went up and down in sound and was very deep and menacing. Her husband shouldered his rifle again, but did not fire. What really gave her the chills was the look on the creature's face. She felt that the creature knew that the rifle was small caliber and was not something that could kill it with one shot. Moments later, her husband fired again, this time into a tree that was next to the creature. The creature didn't even flinch, but what it did next made both of them flee in terror. After about 30 seconds after the second shot, the creature stood up on 2 legs. One of its front legs, arms, was against the tree that her husband shot. The growling continued, but it had increased in volume by quite a bit, and the creature was moving its jaws up and down like it was gnashing its teeth. Her husband fired 3 shots directly at the creature, all 3 hitting it in the chest. The creature let out a drawn-out scream/howl and ran off into the forest on 2 legs. They fled the other way back towards their vehicle. As they're skiing back, went past it.
Nope.
A little further up.
There we go.
As they were skiing back, they had to pass through a small area of forest. As they were passing through the forest, they could hear something running towards them from a distance through the woods. They cleared the woods without anything happening, but when they broke out of the forest, they estimated that whatever was chasing them was no more than 35 to 40 yards behind them. She had her cell phone with her and was thinking about using it to take a picture of the creature. As she was thinking this, she suddenly got a feeling that if she took a photograph, the creature would kill both of them. She said that the feeling was so strong that she immediately shoved the phone in her pocket. It wasn't as if the creature sent her a psychic message or anything. It was just a feeling. One thing she mentioned in a hushed, embarrassed voice when her husband and her made it back to their vehicle, she noticed that she had actually peed her pants. She didn't even notice until the adrenaline rush ended. She had always been so scared that she had actually been so scared she lost control of her bladder. Has always thought that that was just something from the movies. This took place in Crow's Nest Pass, Alberta, near the town of Coleman, on December 1st, 2012. The creature was dark black. Its height on 4 legs was 3 to 3.5 feet, and on 2 legs was 6.5 to 7.5 feet. And it was 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m.
How close
So-
is that to you?
To me, that's north. That's quite a bit north.
Oh, okay.
We don't want to give away
closer to
Deborah's
you than
location.
us.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about
He's
that.
like, I
We don't
don't
want
want
to- we don't
Dogman to come find me.
We don't want people to come find her and try to have her go out look for this thing.
Oh, come on, dude. She's out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody's going there. Holy crap. Look at how far
Hey.
away that is. That's like the whole state of our country. Like, dang.
Oh, Candace, huge.
Maybe half.
Yeah, it's always funny when you guys talk about somebody living in another state. It's so close though. Like for us, provinces, they're big. If somebody lives in another province, it's a big deal.
So is this all empty space then, huh?
No, it's not
It's all
empty
towns.
space.
Haven't you ever seen Trailer Park Boys? It's all towns.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a
But
big
I mean,
Canada buff.
if you look right here, like around Michigan, Wisconsin, like that's a lot of sightings.
Yeah, it's very condensed in some areas, eh?
It looks like on the East Coast, like right here, probably, huh? This
Yeah.
Well, right there
Ohio,
in mid country,
Cincinnati.
not quite the West, but mid country where there's a lot of rural areas.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to Massachusetts, there's barely any because there's not that much you can see here.
Florida's got one.
Well, of course they do. I mean, look
It's
at
weird that
Louisiana,
it
they
wouldn't
got-
like Canada because there's so much. There is so it is a little more. Lots of places to hide. You'd think it would love it.
I lived over in Punta Gorda, right above Fort Myers. It was right by me. Hanging out with Skunk Ape. Him and Skunk Ape are buddies, I bet. Do you want to look at any other ones?
That's a cool map.
Jeremy there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you want to look at any other ones?
Well, how long we've been running now? Oh, actually, well, why don't we let me get on my last
47
but-
minutes.
yeah, you can bring up the picture of the movie poster now.
Okay, that's this one?
And that is
Yes,
actually the
okay.
cover of the Small Town Monsters documentary.
Nice.
So I mean, yeah, I'm telling you, the documentary is creepy as hell. Like when I watched it, like I didn't want to go outside my front porch that night. Like I was just scared shitless. But we hear creepy stuff around our house all the time, so it's possible. It's highly possible there's something out there that who knows. I only live like 10 minutes away from Bigfoot country, so
We hear a bunch of creepy stuff too. Normally it's homeless people shooting dope, but do you want me to pull up these other pictures?
you can in a second once I start this one.
Okay.
So the next one, which to me is the most terrifying Dogman story I've ever heard, and it's what made me actually believe in Dogman, and that's the Beast of the Land Between the Lakes in Kentucky. It's said to resemble a gigantic half-man, half-wolf that walks on 2 legs and has 5-fingered human hands ending in vicious claws. It's said to stand over 7 feet tall with massive crushing jaws and glowing eyes. There have been several reports of it in modern times. One of the most frightening of these happened to a group of Murray State University students who were camping in the Land Between the Lakes in 1973. Which actually, Scott, if you want, you can bring up that landscape picture that is the Land Between the Lakes.
That is this one.
Yep. And that actually is the Land Between the Lakes. Because literally it's an island between lakes.
Looks pretty.
And these students, looks can be deceiving. These students were camping there in 1973. A group of young men were enjoying the woods on a warm spring weekend, sitting around a fire built by their VW microbus, and just generally having a fine time.
So they were out on the island. Is there a bridge that gets them there, or what?
I'm pretty sure it's a boat. Just take a boat over. But
Well, you said
well,
they were on
actually,
the BW.
there's got to be a land bridge there somewhere. I'm guessing. But
Okay.
that's the
looks
first picture
thick.
of us. Yeah, but as the evening began drawing in, one of the students went off into the woods to answer the call of nature. When he returned to the campsite, he told his friends he felt like something was watching him and they heard something sniffing in the woods. His friend said that he just heard a wild hog or some other animal. The student said he never heard anything like that before, and he grew increasingly nervous as night began. As the night got darker, the group started to hear the shuffling sound of something large moving in the falling leaves. It seemed to be circling their campsite, moving incredibly swiftly. They all became anxious, and they shined their flashlights into the woods in the direction of the footsteps, but saw nothing. And then the howling began. It was a wild, insane howling, like a wolf, only much louder than any wolf could ever be, with an unnatural, blood-curdling quality that made the howling sound almost like mocking laughter. It seemed to come from everywhere around them, first one side of the circle of light around the fire, and then the other. Soon the terrified campers began to catch glimpses of a pair of glowing red eyes that ran past in the dark. They retreated to their Volkswagen bus and wisely decided not to stick around to get a better view. Tearing down the road, they saw that they were being pursued and that a massive shadowy figure was racing behind them, barely visible in the bus's taillights. As the bus slowed to take corner, they felt a massive jolt, and then it seemed as if something was holding the Volkswagen back. Giving it everything, they broke free and tore out of the forest and didn't stop until they were back on their college campus. Back on campus, they found 4 deep gashes like claw marks torn into the metal of the engine compartment cover at the back of the bus. And another story tells of a discovery of a bloody scene inside a motorhome of a family camping in the area in the 1980s. Police are said to have found the horribly mutilated bodies of a visiting family lying in the motorhome, blood-soaked, and the half-eaten body of the family's young daughter lodged in a nearby tree. The bodies are all said to have distinctive, massive claw marks, and it was supposedly covered up by the authorities as to not damage the tourist industry in the then economically fragile region. Evidence for encounters with the beast between the lakes continues to this day. Experienced hunters shy away from the area. For those sportsmen who are new enough to the area to scoff at the legends, often come home with tales of feeling as if they're being stalked in the woods. Deep holes like nests are often found dug in the woods, with tufts of long, coarsely textured grayish-brown fur found within them. Rangers in the park are routinely asked what the strange howling was that a camper heard during the night. So, yeah, the first time I heard the story about the family
Yeah.
And and even experts say, even law enforcement say, yes, the rest of the family, it could have been a serial killer or something like that. It could have been a murder, like just a regular human killer. But the girl's body in the tree, no murderer, no serial killer is just gonna throw a body up in a tree for fun. And what do? Eat half the body and run away? Like, even a cannibal wouldn't do that. A cannibal would take the body with them if they wanted to. So, I mean,
That island is pretty dense. I could see we wouldn't know what's in there.
So, I mean, yeah, that seems like something right out of a horror movie right there. And I truly believe
is that the only people that there's remains found that they are kind of attributing to this, or?
I mean, I really couldn't find anything more about other people, but I'm sure there's other stories of it.
Yeah.
Like they say, a lot of new hunters to the area are still willing to go in there. Experienced hunters stay the hell away from that island. But
which says a lot. If an experienced hunter doesn't want to go near it, yeah, there's something scary there.
So, Scott, you want to go fishing there?
Yeah, hell yeah. That's probably damn good fish if everybody's
yeah. It's like a secret spot. Nobody else goes.
Do I want to go fishing at night? Maybe not. Go fishing with my AR though. I can tell you that much. No hunting rifles here.
But yeah, I don't.
Did anyone find any? Has anyone been attacked and lived and said that's what attacked them?
That would have been good.
If they did, the Men in Black covered it up.
Right.
But Scott, you can bring up the last 2 pictures I gave you now.
Okay, let me.
I forgot about that.
Pull this up real quick. Okay, get Zoom going. Where the hell did my share go? Ah, there we go. Okay, we're good to go. Okay, which pictures are we looking at? This this
The
one.
last two. Look at the other one first, the wood one.
Okay.
That's a reported picture of the beast of the Lamborghini Lakes.
Well, that one's pretty good.
You know, camera technology will be a lot better in 10 years. I'm not seeing it.
Oh, there's something in there.
Yeah, something.
I mean, that gray. I mean, you can't see where I'm pointing, but the gray looks like a head, like up there. Yeah, that
This?
looks like a head. That looks like a head almost.
Oh, I was looking down at the darker
part?
ball. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. So
I mean, this part
But then
kind of looks like this part over here. I don't know, man.
Mm.
I mean, there's some good ones. There's some bad ones.
it's like
But-
looking for things in the clouds.
Yeah.
Everybody sees something different.
But if you go to the next picture I sent you, the last one,
That would be this guy.
those are artist renditions of how people describe both these creatures. And that, as you can see in the bottom right, that's actually from the North American Dogman. Wow, it's blank on the last part. But that's actually from the North American Dogman Project, and that's the descriptions of the differences. So you can see the Beast of Bray Road looks more like a classic werewolf, and the Beast of Lamb Between the Lakes looks like a freaking demon from hell.
I don't know. The one you showed us before looked like a cuddly little squish bug. So
I mean, I wouldn't want. I mean, actually, the Lamb Between
Dogman
the
in
Lakes one,
training.
the Lamb Between the Lakes one almost looks like a Bigfoot and a Dogman combined.
is that the
Yeah.
cuddly little squishy guy?
No, that was the Bray Road Beast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that doesn't look anything like this guy.
Yeah, well, you know, artist renditions are artist renditions, but
Yeah.
I mean, if they legitimately, if I saw that, I might pee my pants too if I was out peeing
Yeah.
and that was chasing me. But yeah,
I like how this one's like jacked. Well, I guess they're both
Yeah.
jacked too.
yeah, they do some working out for sure.
Yeah, no, they're out there doing tree branch pull-ups and
yep.
shredding them delts.
Interesting.
So what do you guys want to do for next week? Is it my turn to pick?
Yeah, you're on deck.
Okay, let me stop sharing this. So I had two. Are you done, Jeremy?
Oh yeah, I'm completely done. Yeah.
Okay. I had the first one. I don't know if there's any actual like paranormal stuff to it, but it goes
What
to
is
one
it?
of my favorite Halloween movies, and it'd be Centralia, Pennsylvania.
What, Silent Hill?
Yeah, what Silent Hill was based off of. I don't know if there's any paranormal. Like I asked my family, I didn't think of anything and realized this was my week. So it's either
mean-
that or haunted bridges.
Ooh, we could do a lot with haunted bridges.
Okay. Yeah, no, I
So-
know there's a lot of haunted bridges. My wife came up with that. My son came up with Centralia.
I mean, Centralia is cool, but we'd have to do like a horror, like a based on real location horror episode.
I mean, Silent Hill is one of the best horror movies of all time, but I don't like, I know there are paranormal investigators that go there. I just don't know if there's any actual like
There's, from what I've
real
heard,
lore.
I mean, there's spirits and stuff, but it's nothing like, there's no cryptids there. There's no zombies there. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
it's not what they make it out to be in like the video games or the movie.
Yeah, it didn't really get famous until after everybody left. So,
Yeah.
but check out Silent Hill if you're watching. Best movie of all time. Second one's debatable.
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
Oh, come on, man. The horror movie? What's better than Silent Hill? Hey, you guys have both seen it, right?
Yeah.
I can't say I've seen all of it. I watched part of it and I was like, this is dumb, and I just kind of switched it off. But
The acting's a little cheesy, but the story is par for the course.
I mean, when it comes to horror, I need like something I could believe in, like aliens or something. Like, I live with ghosts, and I ain't scared. I ain't afraid I'm gonna die tomorrow or anything because of that.
Did you see Moonfall? I'd watched that last Sunday after we were done. That was pretty
My
good.
wife was watching it, and I was kind of like, working on podcast stuff and half watching it. And it seemed pretty good. I'd actually would have to sit down and watch it, and I probably will at some point. But
Yeah, it starred the guy from Insidious and The Conjuring. So
it's
pretty
a
good.
lot of big people. It had a lot of big stars in it. But and actually, I just checked. Silent Hill is not on the top 104 horror movie list from Rotten Tomatoes.
those people, Rotten Tomatoes. Are you giving me Rotten Tomatoes stats? Give me a break.
That's who we use for these tournaments. We use Rotten Tomatoes for the 104 movie tournaments.
Oh, they're horrible.
Well,
But
I mean, yeah, we
You
always
pay
we always
your
say,
way into Rotten Tomatoes.
well, I don't know about that. Some of these movies on there are like foreign language movies and stuff too. So they
So
definitely.
what's
pay their
your
way into
favorite
Rotten-
then, Jeremy? If you don't.
Well, you're gonna have to wait till the week before Halloween to figure that out.
Yeah, I guess we can't do spoilers. I am clipping, so like on all these interviews I'm doing, I'm gonna ask everybody what their favorite scary movie is. And then I'll do a big clip for our, I guess, YouTube, because at that point it'll be, I mean, I got 10 clips of favorite horror movies today, so.
Have you guys seen, you probably have seen Dark Skies. I don't usually like alien ones, but that one scared me. Freaked me.
I have not.
I feel like I
Yeah,
have.
it's good. It's a good one.
Was it recent or older?
I think it's
Probably-
newer, is
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
or-
well, I mean, it's been around for a bit, but yeah. Yeah, it was pretty
Oh.
good.
the hell? No, that's not what I'm thinking of.
And then
I'm-
Sinister, I like that one. That's good, scary.
Sinister, yeah, that has
Yeah.
the guy that looks like Christian Bale from.
Yeah,
What the hell did he do? He did The Purge, right? He was the first Purge.
yeah, you know.
My kids
I
always
don't-
want to watch The Purge for Halloween. I have to tell them that's a 4th of July movie. I don't see where they're going along with this being a horror movie. New generation, they're a little crazy.
Yeah, because because I think it's all not gonna come true one day, but you know, it's getting closer and closer. But
We're getting there. We got to do I'm going to be making business cards with a QR code for our TikTok channel when I do these interviews to give them to people. So we're
Oh,
all going
cool.
to need to get our faces close here, and then I'll screenshot it. A little closer, Jeremy. Deborah, come on.
Not right now.
Yeah, right now.
No, my God, can't you wait for one more week for
Okay,
my
we'll
hair?
take that clip, right?
That's
Okay, I'll
hilarious.
try to screenshot you from another. I've tried screenshotting us before. It's fairly difficult, but because
yeah, you have to make sure everybody stands still. But
well,
I always
I'm-
have my eyes closed. I notice every time it's like freezes, my eyes are closed. I'm like, I don't know. Anyways,
yeah, I'm gonna have to like screenshot us all from different times because like when there's two of us in a
Yeah.
perfect thing, Jeremy's like way back there like that.
yeah.
or my head's like this, or
Maybe that's what you
Yeah.
should do is all the worst shots and just put them together.
not for our business cards. I gotta pay money on these things.
Funny. The
But yeah,
haunted
no,
bridges. Okay, well that's cool.
I think there's a lot of material there, right?
yeah, haunted bridges we can
Could
definitely
be.
do a full episode without issue. Haunted bridges, crybaby bridges, all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's kind of Halloweenish, right? It's like you're maybe
It is.
walking across. It's kind of scary.
No, teenagers go there all the time in their own towns for Halloween, like ball testing, basically.
God, Scott,
Okay.
there's usually like some homeless people living under the bridges. You should go interview them. And if they
I
were-
will. I used to be
Any
one of those
stories,
people
right?
living
Like,
under the
get some
bridges.
firsthand- Well, because if they're living there, they must they might have some stories.
Why sleep in a $100,000 house when you can sleep under $1 million bridge?
Right?
That's all I gotta say.
Well, I think we could sign off for this week.
Okay, everybody want to say
Fabulous.
goodbye, and I'll end it.
All right. Sayonara, everybody. Have a good week.
See you next week.
Next week.